All right, Ryan. I know we talked a little bit before, but still, can you like introduce yourself a little bit? Consider like most of my audience are strength coaches, not really basketball coaches.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Great to be here. Thank you for everything you do for just the state of basketball and performance and all those things. It's great to finally talk to you and be on the show. So thank you. For me, I'm coaching in Japan. I spent 10 years coaching in the NBA, and I'm just really excited to continue to be growing the game internationally. And it's great to talk to you. I believe, and we'll get into it, that strength training, basketball performance is closely tied into the tactical and mental side of coaching. So,
Nice, nice. So, before we talk about basketball, like
yeah.
you said, like you're in Japan right now. Well, it is kind of basketball related. So, what's the main difference between coaching basketball in the state and coaching basketball in Japan?
Yeah, I mean, I think, the language piece is obviously something that's definitely the biggest thing that sticks out. And then you talk about FIBA basketball, the international basketball game is just totally different from the American game. Rules are different, the game style is different. What wins, usually the same, playing hard, playing connected, playing for each other. I don't think that'll ever change, but the way to get there at times can be different.
Nice, nice. So, Uh, I know like probably pick and roll, pick and pop, those stuff are the same, but like if you go into the detail like ice coverage, drop defense, is that kind of same or it's gonna be a little bit different?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same. I mean, the rules are different. The best players could be, I mean, the league is changing now with their import rules, but typically here the best players, the imports have been bigs, because of the population in Japan, generally speaking, they produce more guards and wings. So the imports coming in are more big. So I think, especially 5, 10 years ago in this league, there was a lot of post play, and there still is. And that was a big factor. But things are changing a little bit, more guard heavy, more perimeter skills, and getting those type of guys have been really important.
Nice, nice. And another question is like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like I think you're only like 37, right?
Correct. Yeah, 37.
Yeah, and like you already coach 10 years in the league and now you're in Japan. Like what is it like to like being such a young age and being in the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, in the NBA was so fun. I mean, I got to the NBA when I was 23, I think, 23, 24, somewhere in there. And I was just so excited. They made a assistant video position for me. It was the time in the NBA when uh, video offices were expanding, like expanding at a very high level. And yeah, it was a great time to get in, and because like it was expanding, but like most of the staffs were still really small, so you got to do a lot. And at a young age, I mean, I was just so ecstatic to be in the office every single day, like I am now. And it's just, we get to do this. It's a great opportunity. I don't even really call it work, just because it's so much fun and I get so much joy from being around the players and the staff every day. That it's a dream in a lot of ways.
Nice. And I want to follow up by like you work with a lot of amazing strength coach, like my mentor Adam Petway. And I
Yeah.
believe you guys come up with a book that it's called Basketball Biomechanics, if I'm remembering it right.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean you started as a video coordinator and now you're a head coach. So talk to me about like when you're gonna work. All right, how about this? If let's say if you guys or if you are trying to hire a strength coach, like what
hmm
are some qualities like you are looking into, or like what are some skill
Yeah.
set you want this strength coach to have?
Yeah, I mean, I think you want someone who's a great communicator. I mean, especially here, I mean, with the Japanese, the language piece, you have to be an even better communicator. And I feel like, someone like Adam was amazing. I love Adam. We're super close on and off the court. But we think similarly. We were taught by similar people. And I just think having a basic understanding of basketball always is important. I mean, Adam, before Adam got there, I just gave 5 minutes for the warm up. But since Adam, was going to incorporate basketballs and basketball different techniques and drills, and I gave him more time because I thought it was just very valuable, and he did a great job adding closeouts, ball handling, defensive slides, like rebounding. He just did something different in the warm up that's basketball related. And I say that to answer your question in a roundabout way, that I feel like an understanding of the basketball technical side of it is really, really important for me personally, because I view that position as a coach, as a as another coach on the staff, not just like, okay, like you're in charge of making sure their, body. It's like, no, no, like we need to be thinking the same things and talking the same languages and all those
Mhm.
factors.
Nice. Because Adam learned from Todd Wright, and Todd Wright was working with Rick Barnes for a lot of time, for
Yeah. Yeah.
probably close to like 20 years. So like they used to watch film together. So like how much knowledge or like how deep of the basketball knowledge you want this basketball strength coach to have. And like I want to ask this answer because sorry, I wanted to ask this question because like obviously like Adam knows a lot, not just about the performance side, but also like the tactical side. Same with Tar, right?
Mm.
In the state, there's actually more and more position open that is assistant coach slash strength coach. So
Yeah.
talk to me about like for your strength coach, maybe not the position like someone else's side, but for your strength coach, like how deep of the basketball knowledge you want this guys to have.
Yeah, I mean, I think the depth level is important, but also just a willingness to learn. Like, I don't think, I mean, I'm trying to learn every day. I expect the people that I'm around to try and learn every day. It's not like it's not everyone has all the answers, but like we can fight together to like find the answer. So I would say like a basic understanding is fine, and then just like a thirst for learning. I mean, for me, from a coaching perspective, like I leave my meetings open to anyone. If anyone wants to come in our coaches meetings, they're always welcome, because I think that it's important. I'll ask them questions, who they think we should play, because who they think, makes sense in this lineup, or what plays we like, because I think they have a different perspective, and I want everyone to be heard. So I feel like someone just with a willingness to learn and grow in that avenue is important for me.
Nice. And step back a little bit, like why is like understanding the basketball knowledge so important instead of like just understanding the body?
It's Why is it so important? Because I feel like we all are trying to do the same thing, which is win and be a part of something bigger than ourselves. And I feel like everyone is together to make that happen. And I don't like I'm very big on incorporating, basketball strength and performance into the court, because I feel like they're all part of it. They're a piece of the pie. Like, just like getting your shooting reps and your ball handling is important. Well, it's just as important to be in the weight room and making sure your flexibility and your mobility, and all of those things, that they all create the best player possible and the best person possible. So I think it's all related. Like, I view that as a coach, as part of an extension of what we do on the court.
Nice, nice. So
Like I
uh,
like I like I like for example, sorry to cut you up, but like,
yeah,
when Adam and I would talk about players, we'd be like, well, like, why isn't he pushing off his right foot? Like, I need you to like work with him in the weight room on like getting his hands out when he's in a defensive stance. And Adam's the best, and he can figure out ways to do that. And just when you hear it from someone like Adam, for example, in the situation we were in last year, and then you hear it on the court from the coaches, it's like, oh wow, like these coaches are really connected. Like, these coaches like really have a plan for me. Like, they understand what we're doing at a high level. So
nice, nice. That's awesome. Because um I'll say this, working with Adam is definitely different than working with other strength coaches or like other like my other like bosses. It's like it is super integrated and from like performance staff to like medical staff to coaching staff. So, and I believe that like it all came from like working with Todd and working with you. Especially like you guys are like he always says like you guys are best friends and like you guys came up with the book. So talk to me about like how do you structure the meeting? Because like I imagine like you guys have meeting every day in the morning. Like what's practice gonna be like? What drill like you gonna do? So what's the meeting like?
Yeah, I mean, we don't meet every day. With the new staff we met, we'll meet more. This year I have a new, and a new team, new staff. I don't believe in like meetings every day like that. I feel like at times if we do meetings, they'll be very short and not long. Because I just feel like sometimes like meetings can like bog everyone down. It's just too much. Um, for me, I'm a big believer in like having the right people around. And if you have the right people around and you trust the people you have, then you don't need to meet all the time with them to tell them what to do or, ask questions together. I mean, I leave my office door right here is closed for the first time like ever because we're in this Zoom, but I leave my door open and like we're just like going back and forth like what should we do this? What should we do this play? What about this switching group? And like that's a meeting to me. I don't need to just like we don't need to just meet just to meet. We just but when we do meet, just structure of practice and what we're doing, where we need to get better, who we need to keep an eye on, what players, maybe need some love, what players maybe need to connect with other players. Those are kind of the conversations we have.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, hey, we're playing this opponent coming up this week and they're really heavy pressure team. So Adam, like in the warm up, can you incorporate some sort of pressure release, like just getting open, swinging your hands, swinging your legs to get open on the perimeter. Things like that, that kind of can correlate to winning.
Mm. That is actually pretty cool because um a lot of the coaches or a lot of the teams, organization, basketball coaches do their own thing. Performance staff do their own thing. Medical staff do their own thing. So like how did you start this like implementing everybody together?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the process of getting everyone connected is important. Still working on that. It takes time, and I think it's once you get it connected, it's very valuable for the team. And for me, I started because Adam and I started in a similar place at the University of Maryland, and Kyle Tarp and David Atkins kind of showed us what to do, and they were really connected when we were doing player development workouts. Two of the best coaches I've ever worked with, DA and Kyle. And, they were just always talking about players and like, what can we were all working out together. We're just having, talking about players, like, how can we do this push step? And how can we do this crossover step? Okay, Kyle can do this in the weight room. Okay, DA, we can do it on the court. And DA would come up with a drill that we could do. And Kyle would come up with a drill. So you said the word best. The integration was really like connected high level because you don't want different messages. That's what you want to avoid. And as staffs are growing all over, in the NBA and, staffs are growing, it's like you really want players receiving similar messages when they step in the building, right? Like you can't control all the messages they get outside of the building, but what we can control is the messaging they get here.
Um, so I mean the coaching staff is huge. I don't know about ja Japan, but like in the state, in college, there's probably gonna be like what, 3 to 4. Some schools probably even have 5 assistant coach. No, probably like 3 to 4 assistant coaches. NBA is probably the same. And you also got like what, 1 to 2 strength coaches, like 1 to 2 athletic trainer, then physical therapist. So how do you keep everybody on the same page?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's constant, first of all, I think before you could get on the same page, I think it's like how can you be around? How can you provide value? How can you just be present with the people you're around on a daily basis? You know, like I was just in the weight room working out in the morning, which I do every morning. And, you know, there's 4 or 5 staff members there. And that's a time that, like, you know, we're not fully talking all the time. We're all working out, doing our own thing. But like it's a time that we can connect with each other and like we did this together. Like and I think that that's the start of it, you know, like building that trust, building that relationship of just being around is more important than any, you know, anything, I would say.
Nice, nice. And I mean, my main audience is strength coach, and this is actually the first time I have a basketball coach on my podcast, so this is really interesting.
I'm honored. Let's go.
So, working with different strength coaches, what are like what are some things you feel like some things we probably don't like? What are some things you like for a strength
Yeah,
coach?
I mean, I think just generally speaking, I mean, not just strength coaches, but I like people to be around and work with that are like solution based. You know, like that's my thing. And, you know, I think it's easy to criticize or say like this player can't do that. It's like, well, are we helping them? Like, how are we helping them to do that? You know, are they? I had a coach I used to work with, Pat Delaney, love him, great coach. He's the lead assistant in Toronto right now, and he would talk about, you know, is the player unwilling or are they unable? And you could say the same thing among staff members. Are they unwilling to do it, like they don't want to do it, or are they literally unable, like they can't do it? And there's a difference because if they're unwilling, like we can help them. If they're unable to do it, then we have to find different solutions, different ways to get it done. So I think that that's an important solution and that's an important thing. And I just like people that are going to try things, you know, like instead of just say, well, we can't do it because we have never done that before in the past. Like, well, maybe it's better. Like, why is it not better necessarily just because it hasn't been done? And I think that would be my biggest, like, you know, macro take on that question is like what I want in a staff member.
Hmm. What about players? Because like as you know, like me and I work together at Louisville, and then now I'm with Denver,
Hmm.
the G League team. There's so like there's a lot of time you have like great talent, but they don't want to listen to you. They don't want to
Yeah.
listen to like maybe not. They don't want to listen to the strength coach. They don't want to listen to the coach.
Yeah.
So how do you handle that?
Well, I think it's like it's on all of us to like, you know, provide the why. And I think you have to start in like the why is this good for you? And then like right next to it or in line with it is like why is this good for the team? And I think once you can kind of create those answers, and you can kind of create that buy-in, that belief, then that's when you can kind of get, um, you know, what you want. And we know we all want to win. Um, Almost everyone I've met wants to win on their own terms, right? Like staff and players. We're not much different as staff. So it's important to understand that like we all want to win. We all want to win on our terms. How can we meet in the middle where the team is still the priority, but the player and the person is still gaining from the situation?
So let me ask you this. If like if you have a player like I mean he's really talented, but like you want to like he don't want to execute the play because maybe you think that's going to sacrifice his number. So how would you handle those situations?
I think you have to meet with him, talk to him about his goals, talk to him about like why this is important, show him success of people that have been in his position, maybe player that's been in the G League that, you know, has had success after maybe their numbers went down or they didn't have the best statistical year, but you know, they got a call up or they got a two-way from it. You know, it's not I think everyone in the G League thinks it's all about numbers and I get it. It makes sense, right? Like it's the best way to show, but there's other ways that you can show that you're effective and that you're a winning player. Because in the end, all you need is a chance. There's probably 40 to 50 G League guys that could be in rotations right now and NBA rotations or making high level money in Europe or Japan or Asia. And there's some things holding them back. And the question is, what is it? How can we help? Do you want to be helped? Some people don't want to be helped, and that's okay. Like I'm not a savior for everyone. I don't try to be. I try and do my best for people that are willing and that want to improve and grow. And you can't, as coaches, we want to save everyone, and I get it, but it's not feasible. Doesn't make sense. We have to do our best with who we have, and we need people to be willing participants in the process.
Nice, nice. Um, like we talked about earlier, the staff number is growing. I think no matter
Yeah.
the NBA, I don't know about Japan, but like NBA college, the staff is growing. There's like PD coaches right now. There's a lot of assistant coaches. So when you let's say, I don't know, like would you do different drills for like pregame for your PD coach? Ask PD coach to do different drills for players for different position or like different style play. I don't know. That's probably a stupid
For
question. That's, yeah,
are you talking about pregame
yeah,
pregame
pregame. That's a
workouts?
stupid
Yeah, I
question.
mean for no, it's fine. I mean pregame workouts for me, just my general philosophy on that is like pregame workouts. My mom taught me there's no such thing as a stupid question, so no problem. Um, So yeah, anyways, pre-game philosophy is just how can we get the players feeling comfortable in the shots, we want them to take. And we've done defensive pre-game workouts as we're building our program and struggling with rebounding and get a rebound, like do a drill, close out, get a rebound. You know, I believe player development, there's this whole thing on player development, and you see all the videos online and you rarely see any defense. And I think that no defense, really doesn't make sense in player development, right? Because defense is half the game, right? And a lot of times the guys that are in the G League or the guys that are trying to be where they want to go, what's going to get them on the court is doing the details, doing the little things, boxing out, rebounding, having good closeouts, understanding personnel when you're closing out to someone. And I feel like that just gets overlooked in this day and age. It just really does. So, I think it's really, really important to do that.
Nice, nice. And want to talk a little bit more about this is obviously like the game right now is different than like the game 10 years ago. The speed of the game is different. There's a lot more threes because like Steph, all those guys. Um, is that kind of the same trend in Japan, or is it kind of different?
I think so. I mean, I think when I came probably 3 years ago, this is my fourth season. It was still probably like a more, I like to say smash mouth, like a more like physical. I had an old assistant coach that used to say smash mouth basketball, which is funny. Thought about like, when you hear smash mouth, you think about like the 90s, the Knicks and the Heat going at it. And I think there was an element to that. And I think there's been a little bit of a shift. And I anticipate the shift kind of making even a little bit more of a jump this season. The B League is now the B Premier, the top league, and there's no import restriction. So you can have three on your roster plus an Asian import or a naturalized player, and they can all play on the court together, which is different than what it's been. It was only two imports on the court, with a naturalized or Asian import, but now, they added just another import on the floor, so it's going to be fascinating. It's a new league for everyone. It'll be really interesting, probably closer to what I'm used to from a G League perspective. So yeah, it'll be fun. I'm really excited.
Yeah, and I mean, as now you see like Wemby, you see Julius Randle, like Jokic, you see all those big guys. Do you think like maybe in the next 5 to 10 years, it's probably gonna go back to not like not like bad boys, but like every team have a big guy like Shaq. Olajuwon, Tim Duncan. Do you imagine like the basketball going back to like early 20s?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I think special players call for like special situations, and it's hard to really know. I mean, I think there's going to be some validity to, matching up with the Wembys of the world, the Jokic's of the world. There is, there's validity to that, but also, you have to get the most out of your roster too. You can't just look at everyone else and think, how do I stop this guy? I think I've been on teams and that's where we've gotten into trouble, at times. And I feel like you just have to do the best and maximize your group every day, and just kind of water that, excuse me, water them, give them sunlight, like give them room to grow and breathe, and that's the best you could do. I don't, I've seen you know, older local players guard elite level imports at a high level, and they've been good. No problem. FIBA's different, but you see OG Anunoby guard, Wemby, and have some success on them. You're not going to stop them every time, but so I think it just depends on the round. I think teams are starting to switch Jokic more, and they say, hey, if you want to beat us one on one, no problem. We're gonna take away your passing. You're gonna, make you a score. So there's different ways to do it. There really is.
And if
I
that's
don't really get into like all the, well, there's going to be a trend of big guys and there's going to be this. It's like, well, you know what? There has to be good big guys to get in the trend. Like Wemby's elite, when Embiid's healthy, he's elite. Jokic is elite. Those are elite bigs, but there's not as many of them. Cat is elite. There's so.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. So, I mean, as a strength coach, we always read research. Adam's probably always like research every
Yeah,
single,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
always
yeah.
write research. Like, uh, that's how we do things. That's how we like not really predict or like there's a trend or like something we can follow. Uh,
Mm.
so as a basketball coach, like, I know you guys watch film a lot, but outside of that, like, you can't explain it already. Like, is there gonna be new trend or not? But like, is it just like follow the basic like pick and roll like we talk about, or like there's like yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I always think you're trying to innovate and you're trying to look around the world and see what you can do best and take different ideas. And, I have an amazing staff here that we have a great staff that we work together and they're finding different ideas from around the world because I like to try different things. I like to try different base outs, side outs, different sets that maximize your group. And I just think, I have a general offensive and defensive system, but at the end, I think you have to adjust and you have to be flexible, creative to find the best for your team.
Nice, nice. All right. So last part of this question. Sorry, last part of this podcast. I'm kind of nervous right now. This is my first time having a podcast with a basketball coach.
This is great. I'm loving it.
Yeah. So, obviously, like strength coaches want to go up, like want to get called up from G League. They want to go to the league.
Yeah.
Like there's like
Yeah.
basketball coaches, from video coordinator, interns. I think
Yeah.
Chad started as an intern, if I remember it
Yeah. I love
correctly.
Chad. You work with some of my favorites,
Yeah.
Chad and Dice, and yeah, great
Yeah,
people.
they're awesome. Like I think Chad started as an intern, then assistant coach, and you started as a video coordinator, then
Yeah.
assistant coach for the Wizard. Now you're a head coach. So for the young guys out there, for the young guys, like maybe they just graduated, maybe they just finished their basketball career, that
Yeah.
they want to be a coach, maybe in college level, maybe in NBA level, maybe international. Like, what would be your advice to those young guys?
Yeah, I would just say probably don't skip steps and understand every role and what they do in the organization. I was in the video room and I was right next to the equipment manager's office, and we would always be hanging out and talking and seeing what they did every day. Understanding what the PR department does, understanding what the strength coaches do, understanding what the basketball coach, just understanding the whole operation because it's way bigger than just one person. And the more empathy and the more connectivity you can have for your fellow, you know, staff members, I think the better you become. And then I would say on the flip side, like additionally, the more things you can do, the more valuable you are. If you just say, I'm a strength coach, I just get guys to lift weights. Well, it's like, well, then you're limited because what if I'm looking for someone that can do mobility and tape ankles and do everything? And I think it's just like having the most skills you can do, obviously focusing on your strengths, but then also like being able to be multidimensional and being able to do multiple things, not just, basketball coaches say, I only coach defense. Like, well, what if I need an offensive coordinator? And what if I'm going to triple your paycheck? You can't do it? Okay, well, I'll go to the next person. So I just think having flexibility, having a general understanding of the game and different roles and responsibilities.
Nice. And uh if you had a chance to speak to yourself like 22-year-old Ryan Richman, what would be like
Good
one
question.
advice you're given?
Whew. Good question. I mean, I think the easy one is slow down and enjoy it. I think that's a good one. Just slow down, enjoy the day. Don't, enjoy the day to day, which I think I did. But I think you get in trouble when you start to look around at other people and, oh, this person's getting this person's getting that. It's like, I just think it's more important just to run your own race, find joy in the process, and just like day by day, just impact the people around you. And I think good things will happen from there.
Nice, nice, nice. That's all the question I have for you today.
Amazing. Thank you. This was fun.